Hi, my name is Isa Alvarez. I am the Chief Postal Plans and Operations for US Senka. And today we are going to continue with the 1412 online training. This is composed of a series of videos detailing the 1412 online unit register and the 1412 online reporting requirements. On the first two videos, we went over the unit register for the individual post office, and we went over adding postage meters, doing postage meter sales, and also making deposits and retaining cash on hand at the post office. Today, we are going to go over receiving, selling, transferring, and returning stamp stock. While the post offices in the US Centcom AOR, meter and scale, and click and ship do not sell individual stamps or money orders, this training will provide you information how to do so in the event your region is exempted from the stamp stock restriction. Once you're logging into your account and you open your day under the 1412 data entry, you will select stamp stock. First thing we're going to do today is receive stamp stock from the SFS. The most important thing here is to never, ever, ever identify in AMS that you have received stamp stock without actually having it physically in front of you. The reason for this is that once you assume it and you let USPS and MPSA know that you have this stamp stock on hand, whether you have received it or not, you are financially liable as the code for this stamp stock. Never, ever, ever identify the stamp stock received in AMS until it is physically in front of you and you have validated that the stamps that you receive match whatever is stated on the PS Form 17 that is accompanying your shipment. First things first, we are going to receive our stock. We are going to say that the code today received $1,500 in stamps. Shipment number will be provided in your PS Form 17, so all you will have to do is identify this number here and hit submit. Next, we're going to go to your 1412 report. At this point in time, we are going to transfer from the supervisor to your individual clerks. Under the basic AIC, you will select AIC 841, which is stamps received, and you will transfer 500. You will hit submit. Once you look at your consolidated detail, as you will remember, the supervisor received a total of $1,500 in stamp stock. Now, under the AIC 841, you see that the supervisor only has $1,000 worth of stamp stock, and now Clerk Alvarez has $500. The supervisor will do the same with the other clerk. Under basic AIC, select 841, input the amount, 500, and hit submit. As you can see now, all are even. The supervisor and the two clerks each $500 in stamp sale. Next, we are going to actually conduct stamp stock sale. First things first. So Clerk Alvarez is going to say that she sold about $150 in forever stamp sales for the day. So we will hit submit. And now you see your AIC 007, which reflects the sale of forever stamps for $150. To make this simpler, let's go back to the consolidated summary because I know there's a lot of information and I don't want to get anybody confused. Now for Clerk Ruiz, we're going to say that she sold the breast cancer stamp and she sold a total of $80. And hit submit. When you're looking at your consolidated detail, you will see for AIC 007, the sale of forever stamps worth $150. Under AIC 084, the sale of the breast cancer stamps for $80. As you can see, your AIC 353, this is from the previous day business. It is the cash retained that was reported from the previous day. It is $3,000. So as a post office, you are responsible for showing that you have $3,230. Now let's go under the stamp accountability. Today, the post office received a total of $1,500 worth of stamps. Today, the post office sold $230 worth of stamps, which means that the closing balance for the post office, or the amount of stamps that the post office needs to have on hand, is $1,270 in stamps. As we previously did, we need to ensure that we allocate the funds where they need to be in order for us to close the day. But we're going to do that once we return some stamp stock or transfer some stamp stock to another post office. In order to return or transfer stamp stock to another location, what you're going to do is go back to your stamp stock. Then you are going to identify stock return, and you're going to tell us the amount of stamps that you want to transfer. Today, we are going to transfer $270 worth of stamps. And we are going to actually ship it to another location. You can either ship it back to the SFS or another post office. So we have decided to send it to another PFO within the region because he is in dire need of 270 breast cancer stamps. Or $270 worth breast cancer stamp. So we are going to provide the 10-digit unit number, and because it is coming out of the supervisor stock, since the clerks sell the stamp, we're going to hit submit. Once you go before you go into the 1412 report to continue, on your PS Form 17, which you are going to include in this shipment, please ensure you provide the unit the shipment number. This number they will have to manually input in order to receive those stamps. I say again, please ensure that you include the shipment number of the PS Form 17 so that the unit, upon receipt of the stamps, can manually input the information and officially accept the stamps. Now we're going to go back to the 1412 report. As you can see, now we have the stock return AIC, the 848, identified, which means that now we have transfer or a total of $270 worth of stamps. However, we are still responsible for providing the funds for the $230 of stamps sold at the post office. So first things first, to help you COBs identify who did what, please ensure that you perform the following actions under the consolidated detail. We know that Clerk Alvarez today ended up selling a total of $150 worth of stamp stock. So we are going to say that the entire amount was paid for using Eagle Cash. So we are going to identify it as an electronic funds transfer. Only do this if you do the submission for Eagle Cash at the end of the working day. If you do not, please ensure that you transfer all those funds to your AIC 753 so that it is accounted for once you actually do the deposit under Eagle Cash. So we're going to do $150 worth of electronic transfer funds and hit submit. Then we got to look at Clerk Ruiz. We know that today she sold a total of $80. But we're going to say that unfortunately Ruiz could not download the information on her Eagle Cash point of sale. So what we're going to do is we are going to move those funds under AIC 753, cash retained for the day, to ensure that we properly deposit them once the point of sale machine is working. So we're going to click submit. Then there's the matter of the funds that were retained from the previous day that are still residing under AIC 752. As previously stated, any funds left in AIC 752 identifies a deposit made at the end of the day. So the funds left in 752 will not be available tomorrow when you open your day. So we need to ensure that any funds left in 752 are transferred over in 753. That way, the post office has an actual positive gain of funds, and you only make those deposits under 680, as most overseas locations do not deposit to a bank, with the exception that I know of Egypt. So we're going to ensure that Clerk Ruiz goes back and does another AIC 753, and as you can tell, she's still holding on to $2,000. So the submission is going to be for the actual $2,000. Then we have Clerk Alvarez, who still has $1,000. So she is going to submit an AIC 753 for the $1,000. Now we go back to the consolidated details so it is a lot easier to read for you. We know that based on what we have done, the cash retained from the previous date and the stamp stock sale, that the post office is responsible for accounting for $3,230. Under stamp accountability, we show that we receive $1,500 in stamp stock. We returned $270, and we sold $230. Therefore, the post office must have on hand $1,000 worth of stamps. On the disbursement piece, we did an electronic funds transfer through Eagle Cash of $150. We retained the cash from the previous day as well as the sales today for $3,080 for a total of $3,230. The key to success is the following. Your AICs, the cash required and the cash accounted for, must match. Unless you are submitting a refund, which is going to be a class on another occasion. To recap, today we learned how to accept stamp stock from a unit or from the SFS. We learned how to sell stamp stock. We learned how to return stamp stock. And we went over again allocating or dispersing the mechanism on which the funds were paid for or accounted for. Once you're done, you will hit close your day, continue, yes, and this concludes this portion of the instructions.